Hey there guys, this is my last video of the school year, little review video to help you to study for the test, and in particular the simple interest and compound interest part of the test. It's going to be a nice big chunk of the test, so you're going to want to make sure that you pay attention and really know what you're doing. So let's go ahead and start in on simple interest. Alright, remember the most important part of simple and compound interest is reading the formula, or I'm sorry, reading the question and making sure that you really understand what the question's asking. So let's go ahead and look at this one. John buys a new car for $3,500. He borrows the money at 7% simple interest over 4 years. How much interest will John end up paying? Well, let's break this question down. First of all, we have to know what kind of interest we're looking at. We are looking at simple interest right there. Okay, so that should tell you the formula we're going to use. Alright, the second thing, when we do simple interest, we need to know what they're asking for. This particular question is asking how much interest will John end up paying. So, by that information, we should know that we're looking at this formula right here. I equals P times R times T. Principal times rate times time is going to give us interest, which is what we're looking for. So, we notice that formula. Let's go ahead and plug in our variables. I is equal to 3,500 times 7% or 0.07. Remember, you have to put that into your calculator as a decimal. 0.07 times 4 years. Okay? And if we do that, let's go ahead and go over to our calculator real quick. Oops. Alright. We have 35. Let me clear that out. 3,500, sorry, it's already up there. Times 4 times 0.07 will get us 980. Okay? And that problem is as easy as that. The interest for this is $980. So when John buys a car, he's going to pay $3,500 plus $980 in interest. But that's all we need to know for this particular problem. The interest is $980. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Simple interest again. Same question, worded a little differently. John buys a new car for $3,500. He borrows the money at 7% simple interest. It's simple interest again, over 4 years. How much will John end up paying for his car total? So now we want to know the total amount that John's going to pay for his car. Alright, slightly different way we need to go about doing this problem. Okay, we can do this. We can do I is equal to P times R times T. Alright, that gives us part of the answer. That gives us the interest. And then we can add I plus P to get the total amount that he pays. Okay, so we do exactly what he did before. Takes P times R times T, which we know equals 980, to get us our total. Or we can use this formula right down here, okay, which is just one formula that will get us the answer right away. Just A is equal to P parentheses 1 plus RT close parentheses. Alright, and if we do that, our formula should look just like this. 3,500 parentheses 1 plus 0.07 times 4, R times T, close parentheses. Let's go ahead and do that one real quick on our calculator. Clear all that out. Let's take 3,500 parentheses 1 plus R, which is 0.07, times T, which is 4, gets us 4,480. Alright? And if you took the time, sorry, I gotta go all the way through this. Okay, if you did this method up here, P times R times T, then took whatever I was and added it back to P, you'd get the same answer, which should be 4,480. Alright, let's move on to the last problem. Compound interest now. Let's read this problem. Michael invests $400 into his savings account at 3% compound interest, okay? So this time we're dealing with compound interest. A little bit different here. A different formula, different way of calculating. If you go back in your notes, you'll see the difference between the two. Alright? But we're doing compound interest. And on the test, I'll tell you if it's compound or simple interest. How much money will John have in 20 years? The nice thing about compound interest is I'm only going to ask you one thing. I'm only going to ask you how much they'll have after a set amount of time. Okay, I'm never going to ask you how much interest they earn. So the answer for the compound interest formula is always the answer. There's no two formulas like there is with simple interest, and that gets confusing sometimes. Alright, so let's go ahead and put this in. Let's look at our formula. That's our compound interest formula. A is equal to P, parentheses, 1 plus R, close parentheses, to the power of T. Alright, so if we follow that formula and put the variables into the right spot, our formula looks like that. A is equal to 400, parentheses, 1 plus 0.03, close parentheses, to the power of 20. Don't forget that we need to take that 3% and make it 0.03. That's very important. A lot of kids mess up on that. Don't do it. Alright, let's go ahead and put this into a calculator. Okay, 400, parentheses, 1 plus 0.03, close parentheses, to the power of, that's this button right here, x to the y, to the power of 20, that's how many years we have, gives us $722.44. Alright. So if you're calculating that at home, well, I go all the way through these. If you're calculating that at home, that's what you should have gotten there. So what I would suggest you do, alright, first of all, if you have any questions the next 2 nights, get on my big campus and ask them. I'll be at home or I'll be at the sectional baseball games. I'll be able to answer your questions if you post them. If you're not understanding something from this video, let me know so I can help you out before the test. And just another thing you can do to practice, take the practice quiz on my big campus and maybe just make up some problems, make up some fake ones and calculate them and make sure you're getting the right answer. Check to see if you're getting the right answer. Alright, that's what I would recommend to you. If you have any questions, like I said, make sure to hit me up on my big campus. And that concludes this video on interest. Thank you.